So, on the cusp of a trifecta, Republicans want to rule Washington, and they don't just want power, they want a fundamental transformation. After winning the presidency and the Senate majority, the party could now hold on to the House as well, and they are already preparing for how they will use that power. Republican insider Congressman Pete Sessions of Texas says they are planning, the planning is well underway now to reverse or just blow up Biden's domestic and foreign policy. He joins me with more on what this potential sweep of power could mean for our country. Congressman, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
So if indeed you get this trifecta, we're all very curious. What's the first Biden bill on the chopping block, you think?
Well, first of all, everybody needs to start getting it in their mind. There is going to be a huge change, and it is going to be about not just Donald Trump, but about the worry of the American electorate, who overwhelmingly all across this country voted for Donald Trump. He overran strong Democrat strongholds all over the country. And there is more than a mandate for not only achieving these things, but him keeping in focus. We've got to worry about how much money we spend. We've got to worry about what the budget is. We've got to worry about inflation. We've got to worry about jobs. We've got to worry about the big ticket items that cause this country to be in trouble. And those things are all going to be addressed by the president. And that's why he is literally hand selecting people well ahead of time to say, this will be our mandate. Will be what we will achieve. And this morning, the president was quite clear to talk about not just the things that will be on his desk, but the things that we would expect to accomplish even before the president takes office, that we will have prepared and ready for him to go out of the House and out of the Senate so that he may sign these bills day one.
And so let me ask you, what bills do you think he would sign day one? If you were a guessing man, what do you see as the top two?
Well, I think energy reliance upon the United States, the cost of energy, bringing back jobs in this country, there will definitely be an energy bill. The second thing that I think that we will have very clearly laid out is some sort of plan about dealing with the wars around the world and how they will be funded or what the policy will be. And I think that the president addressed that this morning by saying he thinks many of these issues will be solved by his own personal intervention, by talking to world leaders about not only the cost and lives, but about how the United States of America will become involved in ceasing these wars around the world. So I think that there will be something that is done also about wanting to make sure that the people that do not conform to what the president wants, that you will see some sort of tariff resolution that will be given to the president to make sure that these countries that do not want to fall in line with his idea of world order, and that is peace, that is economic growth and development for their people, he will have a say about that. So I think those are the first two. The third one, a tie for second, is obviously the border and immigration. You can rely on Tom Homan to do what the president wants, but there may be some things that are necessary to clarify these things in law.
What about Ukraine funding? Does that go?
Well, I think that's what I was in reference to with the president. I think sees himself in a position to talk to both sides, the Ukrainians and the Russians, about his contempt for the things which they're doing to each other. Now, once again, I think Ukraine is protecting themselves, but he views that Russia, while the aggressor, needs to stop what they're doing. So the president believes, I think, very similar to what a viewpoint he took with North Korea. This needs to stop. We need to have a civilized, more civilized world, and the President Putin aiming his forces directly at Ukraine is a problem in his mind. And so I think he views that this is the second war that needs to stop. The first one, obviously, is the Israeli war, or at least the conflict that's going on, to find a resolution.
Got it. You mentioned the selection process. I got to talk to you about Trump's newest advisor. Actually, I guess they've been buzzed for quite some time now, but Elon Musk. He's even by his side today, from the Oval to the Hill. Why do you believe, Congressman, that the president-elect has picked this eccentric billionaire to take on such a close advisory role?
Well, I think it's important for us to note that Elon Musk looks at things for answers, not for processes. Who would have thought about ever taking space vehicles and bringing them back and landing them on the deck of another ship? Who would have thought about ways to creatively do much of what Elon Musk has done? I think that if we look at government, it is wholly inefficient. It does not operate in the best interest of the American people. It leaks itself on a regular basis of efficiency. As the subcommittee chairman on government reform and oversight, we held a hearing to talk about and heard from GAO, the Government Accounting Office, and this administration. They knew they had waste, fraud, and abuse of $1.7 trillion over the last 3 years. That alone would tell you that there is a whole lot of tightening up to do. We think before we start slashing funds, we need to make ourselves more efficient. And it's kind of like a border policy. You first build the wall and then work towards what your problems are. We need to become more efficient. We need to figure out how we can not just make the government more efficient, but the workers more efficient, so that the American people come out winners, as opposed to an expensive government that is unresponsive to the American people. And it's both sides of that I think Donald Trump is going to capture, and we're going to be there to help him.
One quick follow-up, you don't mind, Congressman, about Elon Musk. What is it about him that you trust? How is he going to cut us back by $1 trillion?
Well, I don't think he'll be paid a penny. I think he will not become a government employee. But I'm from Waco, Texas, and we have one of his largest operations in McLennan County, right outside of Waco. It is amazing not only what they have done, but how they do it. It is a mindset of efficiency, of mathematics and science, and it's art and science well put together. He has put up about 80% of the rockets that have gone up into space in the last year, all by his company himself. And they have done that because they're efficient, they do things right, and they get the job done. And that, when you put it on a drawing board, is the kind of person you want to fix what is a big problem and a headache. The Internal Revenue Service would just be one example. But we need to look at, from fresh eyes, from someone who sees answers to problems.
Congressman Pete Sessions, I look forward to talking to you a lot over the next 4 years. Appreciate your time today.